Here goes the record. And we're good.
Hey, what's going on? How's everybody doing? This is the one and only IT in the D show. We are broadcasting live from our quarantine homes. This is Bob the Sales Guy. That is Dave the Geek. And you can find us online at itinthed.com. And do us a favor, give us a like on the socials and subscribe to us everywhere. Fine podcasts are sold. We are missing our third, Randy. I do the blank. Randy, is not doing the blanks.
Cheers to your broken ass, Randy.
Yeah,
cheers.
he took a spill at he had the worst Taco Bell experience I've ever heard. Not only did he fall and hurt his butt, he ate plastic corner from the nacho cheese bag.
Dude, and I love being friends with his roommate Tony on Facebook because, as Tony puts it, Randy injured himself Karening. So
I'm like, and we're all, and it's funny to the point where you can't even say you're hurt. You have to show pictures on social media of said bruise.
Oh yeah,
and then everyone's like, "Oh wow, you really did get hurt."
Oh yeah, no, it looks bad. So yeah, in all due seriousness, Randy, dude, feel better, man. We're pulling for you.
Yeah, because he's like, I got a week's full of prednisone. And I'm like, you have no, I don't know if anyone's ever taken prednisone.
He's going to run through walls before the end of the weekend.
Oh, I turned into Incredible Hulk. I'm like, I'll order 4 pizzas for lunch. And see that wall right there? We don't need that wall. It's not load bearing. I'm going to run through it. Like, prednisone is an amazing drug. But hey, this show is brought to you by our friends at Brilliant. You probably heard me talking about them a couple of weeks ago. If you haven't download the app. It is one of the coolest things. We're all spending too much time watching crappy TV and not spending enough time making ourselves better. We all talk about, during this time with COVID, we all could have learned French and we could have learned Python. We could have learned a bunch of things. Brilliant is all 60 courses and it's all STEM. So math, science, computer science. I'm about 3/4 the way through on crypto. So probably in like another 2 weeks, I'm going to do a whole show on crypto of what I've learned. Just kidding. I'm still not going to know what I'm talking about.
I was like, that's been like the shortest show we've ever done.
No, but they actually have, and the way it's set up, it's not like a stuff on the stuff you're used to, like Khan and Coursera, not to talk bad about them, but those are great in their own way. But these are, if you just go through a typical course, these are like really fun. They're interactive. It's not like a proctored exam. This is like stuff you do when you have some downtime stuff to have fun. It's honestly, I really recommend it. It's really cool. But do us a favor, go to brilliant.org/IT to sign up for free. And the first 200 people are going to get 20% off their annual premium membership if you want all the good stuff. Like I said, I really, there's a huge range of content, whatever you're into, but it's all STEM. They're all interactive. Math. If you want to learn algebra because your eighth grader is stumping you with their homework,
which is real.
I actually took the first algebra course. It was actually pretty good. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm all right. I'm good. But yeah, learn something new, get better. Go to brilliant.org/IT in the D, sign up for free. Super cool app, and I highly recommend it.
Very cool. All right. Well, hey, I thought we had the story that I was going to lead off with queued up tonight. And then I was wrong because I don't care. I don't care that this is a fake site. I don't care that it's not really a thing. This is the funniest thing I have seen in a long, long time.
At about 3 minutes to 9 tonight, I get a Facebook messenger from Adrian, a friend of ours that's been on the show before, the curator of Face the Consequences card game. Shout out to him. But he sends it. It's called AmazonDating.co. So I take a look at it and I go, is Amazon getting in the dating game, kind of like Facebook and all that? No, it's
an absolutely fake site, but oh my God, is it hilarious?
We have it's set up like Amazon, looks just like it, all the pictures and everything. So Amy 29 listed as a bestseller, $59, subscribe and save. There's like 6 pictures of her.
Dude, I love the subscribe and save option as well as free 1-hour delivery.
But let's run it down. Fit as expected, height 5'5". Then there's like the love language, words of affirmation, train as a barista, famous on TikTok, has a child. And then there's customer reviews. The customer reviews are as funny. I'm not even going to read them because you need to read them. They're phenomenal. And there's like hundreds of people on this site. And you need to go through it. It's whoever put this together. It's absolutely brilliant. It looks just like an Amazon site. Amazon dating. Yeah,
dude, it's like seriously scrolling through this for the last couple of minutes has hands down been like the funniest. Yeah, like this is the site we need. It truly is. And the best part is I was talking the Drunken Confessions girls. I was chatting with them on their show last week about trying to figure like of course there's a reason why dating apps don't have rating systems in them, but it would be hilarious if they did. And I do. I love the user reviews and ratings, and I just think it's amazing.
My friend Lisa, a long time ago she had like a guy that like did her wrong. And when I say did her wrong, I mean proper, right?
Okay.
And she's like, God, I wish there was a Glassdoor. And I'm talking 98 maybe.
Okay.
It's like, I wish there was a website that you could rate guys. And I'm like, God, the legality of that would just be horrendous.
And that's why they don't,
like,
because of liability and yeah.
But then they have that stuff for famous people. So like, wasn't there a website with people that slept with famous people?
There absolutely was, yeah.
And there was like, his wiener was this big, you know. Yeah, because he was blown out on coke and lasted 30 seconds. But no, yeah, you almost like a glass door, but for people. But then again, though, how do you dispute it? Because there's three sides to every story.
That's right, your side, my side, and the truth. Yeah,
and the truth, exactly. Yeah. So, like, what are you gonna do? Allow them to retort, and what if they don't?
You're a retort.
Mine would just be, you're a psycho hose beast. Don't believe any of the things she said. Like.
So if you experienced any traffic issues coming out of downtown today, I absolutely love this story. Apparently the 94 on-ramp, 94 West, coming off 75, was shut down for quite some time today because a truck with 38 cows overturned. And so they had to A, round up cows, and B, wait for another livestock truck to show up to gather cows.
I always feel bad for those things when you drive by them. It smells like absolute horrendous feces.
It can't be an enjoyable experience for the livestock.
But there's no seating. You know what I mean? Like, imagine going on a train and you got to stand the whole time, and they give you like a little window to look out of, and there's everybody pointing at you from the cars.
Look, kids, cows.
Heat.
Yeah,
there's no heat.
Can't have been an enjoyable experience, but I did.
How long you been driving a truck, buddy? Like, let's be honest. You're gonna go that fast? Or you're gonna overturn?
Yeah, I feel like there may have been some issues.
The one thing, God, there's like 25 like things I need to like talk about right now, but we always talk about TV first. I want to get into WandaVision.
Love it.
Well, okay, it's great. Let's do point counterpoint because I didn't.
So step one, before we get into the episode, step one, they are getting the documentary treatment that Mandalorian did, which I think is going to be great because I would love to see the behind the scenes, why they made the decisions they made with the different episodes they did. I think that would be great. That's supposed to drop, I guess, after the last episode, kind of like the first season of Mandalorian. So what didn't you like about this episode?
That I had to look up who people were. I didn't know who Agatha Hartman was. Like, and then I go back and like, oh yeah, she's been in the comics going back to Fantastic Four. And I'm like, right. I didn't read that comic. I never read Fantastic, and then it's like, she's been in there like, oh yeah, now it's to the point where I have to watch. See, like the stuff when I did it for Mandalorian, I at least understood the back references. Now it's getting to the point where I don't know what's happening. I'm looking at the Easter eggs and what happened, and I don't understand the back references.
I get it, and it may be like that for a few because a lot of people are saying, or one of the prevailing theories is that she's kind of a head fake that they're throwing out there in order to bring one of two possible characters back in. And I guess the overall thing to keep in mind is the messaging from Marvel has been they are going to unify everything. That they're going to do.
This is a lead-in apparently to Doctor Strange 2.
It can be. So and there's two different ways they can go with this. It's either going to be a lead-in or they could do both if they do it right, which let's be real, they haven't screwed up yet, so why wouldn't they? It could be a lead-in to Doctor Strange 2. It could also be a lead-in to the Fantastic Four reboot that we've heard about.
Please stop. Please don't do that. I know they already did it.
Both the last two have both been terrible.
Well, then Captain America is going to be Human Torch again. Apparently, did you read that? Come on.
So that's the thing. They are trying to unify the storylines. And that's one of the things that, again, if you're kind of a comics nerd, you kind of get into it. The Scarlet Witch is one of those, what they call Nexus characters, that has the ability to morph and warp timelines and unify things or send people into different timelines.
The multiverse or however
multiverse, yeah. And so and which they've already made a deal with because of Spider-Man. They've already played that multiverse card. And so, there are rumors that, we're going to see either Doctor Doom or, one of the other big bads from some of the comics in order to set up some of the Fantastic Four stuff. So I'm curious to see where they go.
Don't get me wrong. It's highly entertaining. I really like it. It's just that
here's the thing. If you don't know who Agatha Harkness is, why did that detract anything from you?
It didn't. It pissed me off after I saw what it was.
Okay.
It was fine early on. I was like, oh, cool. Like, whatever. She seemed like a prominent role, but then but I didn't realize Agatha Harkness was like a legitimate comic book character. You know what I mean? I just thought she was some rando.
But here's the thing, dude, this was the reveal of that across the board. This is nothing you missed in earlier episodes.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But again, here's the thing, the uber nerd people that actually understood who she was, I'm sure loved it a lot more than me after I had to find out through,
I get it.
YouTube videos.
I get it. But so how is this any different from we had this talk before the last Avengers movie. I thought there were 3 or 4 of them of the MCU movies that I hadn't seen. And as it turned out, when Disney Plus dropped, holy shit, there's 8 I didn't see. And I didn't feel like I had missed anything watching Endgame. There were some things that I caught, some of the subtle head nods and that kind of stuff to the earlier movies, but I still enjoyed the hell out of Endgame. And so
they didn't do any serious reveals where you had to look it up afterwards and then go, oh.
Well, but so you're not having the faith that over these last couple episodes, which they've already announced are going to be an hour long each, that they're not going to explain this better. And I have enough faith in the MCU and what they've been doing that I think they will.
No, they do what they do. It's insanely entertaining. Like I said, I just don't want to have to watch these YouTube videos after every damn show to figure out who the hell was in what book when.
Right. I get it.
It's not like I'm going to quit watching it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Can I talk about we doubled up on the Muppets talk. Let's just dive into that real quick.
Yeah, because apparently the Muppets are controversial now.
When I saw that, sometimes you get mad when you see stories and sometimes you're just roll your eyes. And this one's especially now with society with all these stories on at least they didn't cancel them. But the Muppets are tagged with an offensive content, includes offensive content.
Yes.
And I want to meet whoever called it out that something on the Muppets offended them. And I want to do the Clark Griswold line that I don't know all the words to. And I want to tell them what a filth fly and monkey stack. But come on, it's the Muppets.
Seriously, it's the Muppets. Well, and granted, there are some Bugs Bunny cartoons that they don't show anymore.
Those are bad, dude.
Well, but
I know
there are some of the Muppets cartoons that get a little sketchy.
Someone came across my timeline for YouTube and it was Bugs Bunny cartoon from the 40s. It was still black and white. And I'm watching this just going, oh boy.
Oh boy. That's probably not on HBO Max. That's
no. Those are all scrubbed anyway. That's not even the old ones that I grew up on. Those are redo scrubbed.
Oh yeah. They pretend those never even.
There's no Foghorn Leghorn talking all that madness. But apparently there's Johnny Cash is on an episode and there's a Confederate flag in the background.
Yeah, well, the Dukes of Hazzard, those guys are on one of the episodes. Yay. I'm sorry. Is the Swedish Chef offensive now?
No, but the funny thing is everything's offensive, but the Swedes are trying to bark I've been made fun of my entire life. I finally get vindication. I saw a couple comments come on. But Dumbo apparently because they make fun of him.
The crows. Yeah. Well,
yeah.
The Dumbo thing was more about the crows than it was anything else.
And then apparently on the Aristocats, and it's not the
not the joke.
Aristocrats.
Yeah. It's not the Aristocrats. Yeah.
No. But apparently something's bad there where they use, East Asian people. I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. Yeah. But hey, so speaking of racism and homophobia, so I understand you went to Chick-fil-A.
I just wanted a chicken sandwich, bro. So listen, it's Friday Lent, and I didn't have a lunch meeting on that Friday. I typically have lunch meetings on Friday, or
So let me get this straight. You're okay with premarital sex, but you can't eat meat on Fridays. I just want to make sure I have this.
So I venture off to the Hall Road Chick-fil-A. I do some homework, and I'm like, line's like 30 minutes. So I'm like, okay, I'll go. So work with me here. This is on Hall and Shaner. It's one of the top 5 busiest intersections in Metro Detroit. When you pull in the lot, which is part of like an REI and a Michael's and a whole bunch of little stores, and there's the corner's like AT&T store and the Outback Steakhouse. You have to make a left. The Chick-fil-A is on the right. You have to make a left. You have to go all the way to the back of the strip mall. You have to go all the way to the middle. Then you have to merge with the other line that came in from the other side. Then you have to go up the middle. Then you have to go through like a Cedar Point rat maze. And there's like 30 people outside with snowmobile suits and tablets. And they take your order and they run it out to your car, and then you leave. And I get 2 chicken sandwiches and a fry and a Coke, and it was like $11. And I'm like, no, I said 2 chicken sandwiches. But I'm like, apparently it said cheap. I've only eaten at one of them before.
Yeah.
And it was delicious. And then I decided to post it on Facebook that I ate delicious chicken sandwich, and I got yelled at by a lot of people.
You did. I got text messages about you being yelled at.
I just wanted a chicken sandwich. Like my neighbors were like, I'm disappointed. I'm like, I just wanted a chicken sandwich. Then I started, hold on a minute. Then I started getting a little bit angry. And I'm like, then I started thinking, no. I kept it quiet though. I did not rant online, but when I see him in person, I'm going to call him out. I'm like, it's the argument of the people protesting deforestation when they're living in a log cabin. And it's the people that, screaming for electric cars because they don't use fossil fuels, but electricity uses natural gas and coal. Yeah. But somehow people still think it's magic, electricity. And then I started thinking about, well, all you talk about is Disney stuff. And, we talked about it last week. Disney filmed a movie about 10 miles from an actual real concentration camp.
Yep.
And half the stuff in your house is from China, made by people making $1 a day. So So don't pick and choose your anger to me because I wanted a delicious chicken sandwich at a lunch. I get it. Like, I really do, but it's like 70% of the companies you buy shit from donated to Trump's campaign. Let's just be candid.
Right.
The CEOs have of the Fortune 500, 70% of them donate. So like Nestle is literally raping the state of Michigan,
stealing all of our water. Yeah.
No pun intended, but they're stealing our water for like $200 a year. And you buy that crap. So let's not pretend.
Yeah. And you still love your chocolate bars.
And I still love you. And not you, but everyone else.
Not me? Yeah, I figured
No, but like, again, I just wanted a goddamn chicken sandwich. Like, do I have to Google now at Kentucky Fried Chicken to find out if Harlan Sanders...
where I'm allowed to shop?
Is this banned from what group? I get it, but I don't.
No, dude, I mean, we had this conversation. We had this chat on the show years ago when there was like the big to-do because some, I forget which publication it was, asked the founder of Chick-fil-A his thoughts on gay marriage. Now, and our take then was, look, if you ask someone who is so religious that he keeps his entire chain closed on Sundays, you can't be surprised when he gives you an answer that is religious in foundation that says he's against gay marriage.
There's a list a mile long, including Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, that were against it before they were for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, this isn't like, granted, Chick-fil-A is not for it now. Stupid idiot, but granted,
right.
Everyone else kind of came with the, times. But yeah, no, again, I just want to eat. Again, if anyone's
just
known
wanted
me,
a chicken sandwich.
right? If anyone known me for longer, I don't like the politics of places. God knows half the bars we've gone to, the owners are probably raving assholes. It doesn't mean I'm not going to have a drink there.
We've had those conversations too.
Right.
But I mean, hey, you mentioned electricity. I guess let's talk about Texas, because that was a whole lot of fun.
Wow. So here's what pisses me off about that. The first thing that happens is everyone politicizes it. And then every publication runs out and says, this is why Green New Deal is garbage. And then I saw that and I'm like,
okay,
no.
The only people that said that were Republicans,
right?
Mostly from Texas.
I didn't want to say that, but yeah,
but let's right.
Be and then everyone else comes out and saying, well, we're in Denmark, our windmills are running. We're in Germany, our windmills are running.
We're in Antarctica, and our station is yeah.
I mean, let's be candid. I don't think anyone in Texas weather rated their windmills for below zero or freezing temperatures.
Well, they didn't. And here's the sad reality. And this is where, to me, this is kind of where the politics comes into it is, we've had a bunch of conversations on here over the years about deregulation. Okay. Texas is deregulated completely and fully.
Well, they're off everything. They're not connected to anything. Am I correct? I don't know if I'm correct or not. I read it
completely and fully. So they are not connected to the national power grid.
Right.
And so they are wholly at the mercy of private companies that are doing it. So there's no federal oversight. There's no any of that stuff. And you go back and those were some of the stories that broke. Is you look at, the regulators came through and said, hey, look, you need to make sure that your gas lines are at least covered to this temperature. You need to make sure that your water lines going into your nuclear power plants are at least safe to this temperature. And they ignored them. Why? Because as we all know, companies are all about spreadsheets. And until shit breaks, I'm not going to fix it.
Well, they also call this the once in 120 year storm or something. And they really haven't been recording temperature for real for that long.
Right.
So this is like a once in a lifetime event. Granted,
people died.
Right.
I mean, so, that's the sad reality is if you are the company that is in charge of critical infrastructure like power, I'm sorry, you have to plan for once in a lifetime events. You have to plan
for earthquakes. You have to plan for stuff. Like if you're you don't have to plan for hurricanes if you're in Michigan, but there's everything else. You pretty much have to check that box.
Yep.
But like, I remember I was in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina at Cisco, whatever, the big office down there, and ice storm where, the storms we have where the entire trees are like
entirely encased in
ice. Yeah. Like an eighth of an inch or whatever. RTP was that covered. So there was only one flight leaving and it was to Detroit, and we ended up getting on it and getting home. But we got stuck in our hotel for like 3 days. The manager of the hotel, had to take a van and drive like an hour away just to get us food. You know what I mean? I can't, in Texas, I can't imagine what they had to go through. There's a lot, everything was gutted. I know Andre that's been on our show before, Arbalest, he had to go to a resort, the Gaylord Texan, which is bigger than the Silverdome.
Or, you could have been Ted Cruz, and hopped on a plane to go to Cancun.
Oh, see, now I got mad about that because no one's, I go, oh, you don't say anything about the mayors and governors, but now all of a sudden you're mad. But then I found out he talked shit about some of the governors that left. So
he absolutely did.
Get what you get.
Yep, he absolutely did.
Because that's another thing that bothers me.
And I love that it's the friends of his wife that leaked the text messages to the New York Times, or I should say, friends of his wife.
I can't imagine the texts that have been sent since, the bad words that have been sent going, who screenshotted me and sent it? Because someone shot it to me and said it was leaked. And I go, leaked? What does that mean? And then all of a sudden it's a screenshot. And I'm like,
oh no, it was screenshots of texts that several of her friends leaked to the New York Times.
But listen, I'm consistent, man. I always talk about consistency. If you were not mad about Pelosi and the governor of California and the mayors that all told people to stay in the house, then they left. but you're mad about Cruz. Like you seriously need to look at like you need to stop with the party pal. I'm tired. Okay. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it.
Okay, but there's, you know what? I'm going to check you on that. There's a difference between stay in your house and you're in the middle of a critical infrastructure emergency and you leave town.
So so it's the same thing as saying, okay, you need to stay in your house and then they go to Cabo. I mean, you know, you need to not go anywhere. Then you go out to dinner. Like, you know what I mean? It's the principles apply. Like you can't, you know, I'm not apologizing for Cruz. He's an idiot for doing that. But like, you got to like, you can't just like pick and choose just because of the party. Like it drives me nuts. I hate it.
Dude. I'm sorry, dude. Those are two completely different situations. Like I'm sorry. Your entire state being shut down and people dying.
I'm not apologizing for him, but I'm just saying be consistent. If you're going to be mad about that and you didn't say anything before, you know, again, selective outrage is like getting up there with mushrooms with me.
No, I get it, but I mean,
country music and
I mean, people did get mad about Pelosi, and then that whole thing came out where the owner actually told her, or the hairstylist actually told her it was okay to come in.
Well, we just said Cruz just need to say no. Cruz just need to say it was a setup. You know, that's then that would absolve him. Because that's what you know.
Well, if it weren't for the leaked text messages, he could.
Yeah, I'm so tired I'm so tired of politics right now. Like I just can't anymore.
You know what? Then we'll go to something semi-related. Did you watch the Mortal Kombat trailer?
I got chills down my back. Is that bad?
Dude, that looks super good. I'm not gonna lie.
I was trying to explain it to my daughter. And I said, you don't understand, like as like a 16-year-old, like when I was first able to drive, I think I was 16 or maybe 15, going to Butterfly Suite on 14 in Van Dyke and seeing like 40 guys huddled around like this machine, quarters left to right, and looking at it and watching and not knowing how they knew the codes already, and thinking this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. And then growing up with it, I don't want to say the movie was trash, the 90s movie, because it was fine for the times.
I mean, it was kind of trash.
Fine, it was. But this one, like, you just went and did yourself a proper by making this one. Like, this looks like it should have looked.
Dude, it looks so good. Well, and honestly, I think one of the biggest pieces of shit from the earlier movie was Goro. Like, it was almost like Clash of the Titans. Craptastic
claymation baby Godzilla.
It was bad. Dude looks so good this time around. So I am very much looking forward to seeing this movie.
Why couldn't they get a Chang Chung? I don't know how to pronounce it. Chang Tong.
No, Chang Sung. Yeah,
Chang Sung. The guy's still alive. Why didn't? Like, I was waiting for him to come out at the end. It was him, and it wasn't. And I'm like, the dude's still alive. I still see him in movies.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe he'll have a cameo. Who knows?
But they already showed him. I thought
maybe you don't know. Maybe they'll do something.
Maybe it's his brother. I don't.
You don't know.
You didn't catch that. Probably a good thing.
I did. So hey, you gonna go eat with all the lights out?
That was dumb before. It's dumb now.
So a story came out this week that apparently someplace in Detroit is bringing dining in the dark in May, and so it's literally pitch black. And I'm sorry, but I'm not falling for close your eyes and open your mouth and I'm going to put something in it. Like, I'm not going to fall for that.
Like, that's the first thing I think of is it's going to be a foot.
That's not the first thing I thought.
You know what the thing of? I don't want to go there. It's the thing where you put your hand in the box and it's just a tennis ball and people freak out.
Yeah, like, it's the Flash Gordon swamp log.
Yeah, totally. Not the bullworms. But they're gonna. You know what? I got a conspiracy theory. This is not a QAnon approved conspiracy theory. But they're gonna microwave Hungry Man dinners and charge $80 for it.
Entirely possible.
And you're gonna eat the Salisbury steak and you're gonna go, it's so divine. I can taste all the flavor profiles.
All of it. It's going to be the water episode of Penn and Teller bullshit.
Yeah, totally.
Is. Yeah.
It's going to be the greatest meal they've ever had because it has to be.
And it's going to be Swanson TV dinners. Yeah.
Right. Totally.
So we totally forgot on the Texas front. Again, this leads back to deregulation. Have you seen some of the power bills that people are getting hit with?
I just saw one story real quick. Guy got hit with a $3,000 electric bill.
No.
There's worse.
$16,752.
For what?
For having the lights on in his house, because apparently with all this deregulation shit, if you don't read the fine print, they're allowed to fluctuate the pricing based on supply and demand. And so people have had their bank accounts drained, their credit cards maxed out, their everything.
Hey, honey, we're moving to Oklahoma.
Yeah.
Here's the irony of that whole thing. This is at the time
where
it's
Texas, and they really want to be independent.
Everyone from California is like, let's get the hell out of Dodge and go to Texas. Rogan, and there's a bunch of other, people like, right. I'm sick of California politics. Well, power's not out. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like millions of people though. Like this isn't a joke. Like this is like,
No, again, dude, bad. People died. Like
they're dying still.
Yeah, it's not good. But you mentioned QAnon, and so it would behoove us to mention. I've been kind of angry that there hasn't been a South Park in 5 months, and the next South Park special, because they did say Randy did say at the end of it that he was. I think I'm just going to stick with specials. The next South Park special is queued to drop March 10th. And they have changed all their social media accounts to be South Park with a Q.
Boy.
And they keep posting things like "we will be heard," HERD, herd immunity, and so it's all going to be vaccinations and QAnon, and I cannot effing wait for this to drop.
The content's gold lately. Like, get on it. I know they listen to the show. Start making. You said it takes 5 days. Like, make it. Here's my conspiracy theory. Remember how we had talked about? I think it was like maybe 2 seasons ago. They ended every episode with the hashtag cancel South Park. Yeah,
and our theory was that they were done and they just wanted to not do it anymore.
Yeah.
So they're under contract until 2022.
Oh.
So if they can play the COVID card and only have to release something every 4 or 5 months and get out of their contract, maybe this is their way out of it.
Well, let's be honest. They've made enough money on Book of Mormon to buy Walmart. Like, let's just be candid here.
Yeah, no, absolutely true.
Like, it's one thing to be funny, but it's another thing to, like, they've been doing this since we've been teenage. How long has that show been going on?
It wasn't teenagers.
No, like early 20s.
I was at General Motors in the emerging technologies division when it started. So I'm going 98, 99.
That's when the Christmas special came out. All right, maybe. Was I 25?
August 13th, 1997.
Oh God, I seriously, no, you know what? The Simpsons was out as a teenager.
Oh yeah.
Have you been following the Facebook news stuff with like Canada and Australia?
Yes.
I read it 3 times trying to figure out what the hell is going on.
Apparently they're just shutting down. So here's the thing. And we had talked about this because certain countries are passing much tighter legislation about like regulation of news and what's fake news and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they had to pay for it. Like Facebook was sending them a bill.
Yep.
And Facebook's like, kiss my ass.
Yeah, and so they were like, yeah, no, we're done.
And then they pulled news from their platform.
Yep.
And then like I was watching interviews of people and they go, it's kind of like my catch-all. Granted, I don't get all my news from there, but I get a lot of it.
Yeah.
Like, which I think is like normal people. Usually like when you see something, you're like, oh shit, then you kind of if you're interested, you dive deeper. But apparently this is going on in Canada as well.
Yep.
But Australia is like, I was watching like some government stuff and they're getting like super pissy. Like, we're not going to kowtow to US big tech and we're not going to this, we're not going to that. We're like, oh, this is, it's an interesting time, I guess.
It is. Hey, I got to get
Speaking of which, hold on. I got to talk about this real quick. We talked about it before and I want to follow up on it.
Okay.
So, 223 people so far have been arrested and arraigned and tried in the January 6th riots, right?
Yep.
Apparently, they asked them, where did you get your information to attend to go to DC? Apparently, 73 out of the 223 said Facebook, more than any other platform combined. Yep. So now everyone's going, Oh,
yeah. No, we talked about it.
I know we were talking about Twitter and all, but like now we have actual numbers.
Yep.
So like, yeah. Take a look in the mirror.
All right. Well, hey, I know I'm going to go grab some ice. I know you wanted to talk about Young Rock, which is not my thing. So I'm going to let you
No,
remember
I
that
don't want to talk about it, but I will.
Okay.
If you ever seen Young Rock, it's on Channel 4. Me being the wrestling junkie that I am, I have to watch it. And I knew it was Channel 4, so it was going to be a little Saved by the Bell-ish. And it wasn't bad. My one friend who's a wrestling fan completely hated it. But the weird thing is, and this is, I got to get Dave in here on this. I'll bring it up again. The weird thing is it starts off that The Rock is running for president in 2032. And for me, this is kind of like are they test marketing The Rock, Dwayne Johnson running for president, which would bring Idiocracy in full blown circle. But it's, it starts off with him as like the grown man in 2032, kind of giving a dissertation on his life. And he's 8 years old, and they bring in like Andre the Giant, the Junkyard Dog, and all the Wild Samoans, and kind of growing up at the house. And then he goes to Miami, plays football. That's kind of episode 1. There's, I don't know, there's a limited series, so I don't know how many. But yeah, I think this is the government's way of trying to get The Rock to be the president. I don't know what the hell's taking Dave so long, but I want him to weigh in on it, because that's what I thought when I saw that. Dave. All right. All right. So I'm done with my take.
I was like, my only question was like I kind of understood young Sheldon, because
no. Did you no? So the underlying thing is it starts off with his run at presidency in 2032.
Okay.
And he's doing like an interview on his life story. So I said, this is the government's way to test market, or someone's way to test market, to see how palatable Dwayne Johnson would be as the president of the United States, which would make Idiocracy come full circle. That's the only reason I think this got done, because otherwise it would have just been the story of his life, period. But they had to do this 2032. He's the president. Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean, dude, I remember when Trump announced that he was running. Those were some of the conversations we had. It was like, who's next? The Rock? Is it? Yeah, and he was one of the, like, I would probably vote for him. Like
The Rock, like, Mark Cuban is, but that's the problem. Who would be the vice president? The Rock and Cuban. Is Cuban going to be a vice president? I don't think so.
I mean, he would.
Yeah.
And then so I've seen a lot of people talking about this one, but I haven't watched it yet. I care a lot.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So I watched the preview and I told my wife, usually, we're scraping the bottom of the barrel for watching shit now. And I said, we're getting deep on the
which is crazy, which is because of how much crap is out there. Like, dude, like, I guess, like, how much are you watching per day? Because like, there's still so much shit I haven't. No,
it's usually on the weekends. We'll blow through like 3 movies a day, like on Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night. Sunday, we don't watch anything, but, we just I watch soccer and kind of drink coffee, don't do anything. But it's really good. So it's kind of like, I didn't even know this was a thing. If you have like dementia and you're like a John Doe, or if you're too old to take care of yourself, you get put under guardianship from, like, they'll take receivership of like your assets, even if you have children.
Okay. So kind of Britney Spears-esque. Okay.
Kind of Britney Spears-esque. So what happened was, this woman, basically, she's a hustler, right? She's like, I'm going to make it big. This is my way to do it. So she basically hustles old people until they die and takes all their shit. Well, she gets a hold of the wrong lady, who ends up being a stolen identity of a mom of the Russian mafia.
Oops.
And it's good. It's really well written. I did not expect it took, sometimes you're like, oh, it's going to end like this. And it do a really good job of, like, making it a thing. It's well worth it. And then I just started watching the Tribes of Europa last night. It's German. It's Netflix Germany. And it's basically, if you like Mad Max and The Walking Dead, I think you might like this. It's like 2074. There was like an EMP that basically blacked out the world in like 2029. And like all the countries and everything got dissolved. So there's been some, like, tech got rebuilt, but there's other tribes that kind of went off and like built their own little places in the caves and just said, I'm off the grid. F this.
Interesting. So there was a show that was on NBC for, I don't know, 2 or 3 years called, I want to say Revolution. That was that. It was life post EMP.
It reminds me of the 100 was like that too.
Yeah.
They went out there, the people that were living on the spaceship after the nuclear war, then they decided to go back down. But then there was also people living down there and they all had tribes and everything. But yeah.
So, and then kind of a twofer unrelated stories. One, apparently Daft Punk is all done. And
my running joke is I can't wait for Punk's solo album to come out.
Well, I mean, I just feel like I figured like, like any other couple, they just spent too much time together over quarantine and now they're done with each other. I'll
be honest with you. If you don't respect electronic music, watch the video on how they made the song One More Time.
Yep.
And the songs that they listen to, the samples and the loops that they put together. I mean, if this is not like, it's not like Puff Daddy singing Missing You over a Police song. Right?
Yeah.
Right. The loops and how they put that song together. I don't want to say it's genius because it's overused, but I'll be damned.
But it's pretty effing brilliant. It's right.
Yeah. It's like, it's almost like if you watch how Kraftwerk and New Order made music, like in an age where electronic stuff, at least these guys had PCs and all that, but like I put them in that same category that kind of revolutionized making electronic,
right. Well, which feeds into the news that hit that Movement has now been canceled for 2021 as well.
Do you think that's premature?
I mean, here we are. I mean, we're getting into the last week of February.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be Memorial Day weekend, so 3 months out. I would assume they need at least 3 months of planning and solidity to know that it's going to actually be a thing and go in order to make it happen.
All the hotels, getting all the acts coming in. That sucks because that's like people come in from all over the country for this.
Oh, that's an international. No, people from around the world, dude. That's an international event.
If anyone thinks that this is like.
And that might be part of it as well, is knowing where everything is around the world. Yeah, no.
I used to go when it was DEMF.
Oh, yeah.
We used to get a hotel at the Renaissance Center. And I mean, I love techno. I always did since I first heard it. But I'm at the point in my life where I can only listen to it for maybe like a good 40 minutes. And then I can't.
You're old now, Bob.
I still like it, but like it just, plus I'd be the old man in the stool sitting on the side.
You'd be the creepy guy at the end of the bar with a,
Hey, I remember when this guy was my age.
We're sitting here on Zoom. I love the story that came out of California. I've been on enough school board meetings that I'm surprised this hasn't happened here, given some of the shit that's gone on. An entire school board from Oakland, California has resigned because they weren't aware that they were already broadcasting live out over the internet. And they were talking mad shit about parents.
My favorite line was, "Is this thing public?" I believe that's the exact phrase.
Yep.
And then like you just hear that
click, 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 click. Everybody goes dark. Click, click, click.
Yeah, you hear like the horse dying in Animal House, like
a bachelor party.
No,
the donkey.
Both.
Horse. Oh yeah, the horse. Okay, yeah.
Want a funny business here, but yeah, you can't like. Here's the thing: like, I'm on the Auburn Hills Tax Board, and it's all been Teams meetings since COVID hit. Yep. And I'm on there, and my ass is buttoned up because it's all public. Like, I don't, what am I going to tell? The only time I cracked a joke, and I just told everyone, I go, I'd like to, for the record, strike that I'm very disappointed in all of your quarantine beards. Like, what is, like, so that's in the meeting notes from one of the, but that's as far as I'll go.
Right.
Like, that's risque. But like, if you're on a school board and you're on one of those calls, dude,
no.
Go to Duffy's and talk shit about the parents.
Never in front of cams, for the love of God.
No.
Again, continuing stories. Robin Hood is now facing, at the time of the article publication, 90 lawsuits.
That's it.
Yeah, well, that's a lot of lawsuits, Bob.
I know, but a lot of them I think are class action, so I think it's a lot of more. people doing it. But again, you know, do you have the right to halt service to anyone? Like, is it a you know, do they have Home Depot rights? I don't know.
Yeah, we have the right to your service. Yeah, who knows?
No, because it's a private business.
It is,
but it's SEC
but it's
regulated.
under federal regulation,
right?
Yeah.
So I don't know where. I never like the last thing I'm going to do is read SEC regulations on online trading companies. But I'll be damned if.
Tell me now.
I'd love to see how this thing shakes out, though.
It's going to be well, and then in the same vein, I am very curious to see how there was a lawsuit filed.
Hold on. I just want to add to it. Sorry.
Okay.
Like, here's a lawsuit though. Like, what happens if they were going to say, like, hey, I was going to buy GameStop at $24. I had $100,000 on it, and I couldn't trade it, and I was going to sell at $350. My lost profit's $2.1 million. So you owe me that because I would have made that if you didn't stop halting trading.
And that's
like, is that? Can you do that? I don't know.
That's where damages come in. Yeah.
Right. But you know, I don't know if that's even upholdable. Is that a word?
We'll go with it. Forget it. He's rolling. Yeah.
But you know, lost revenue. Like I don't.
Well, and so this ties into the next story that I was going to get into is the restaurants. What is it? Restaurant, bars, and banquet halls in Macomb County that have filed a class action lawsuit about and it's fascinating to read because I didn't even understand this was a thing. Apparently it's in the Michigan Constitution that if there are laws or executive orders passed by the governor or by the government that preclude, I want to make sure I get this right, I think it was the enjoyment and use of their business property for any period of time, then they have the recourse to go back and get damages.
Whoever found that in the Michigan Constitution jumped up in their seat 150 times going, holy shit.
And is never buying a drink again for the rest of their life.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how this plays out because.
But again, why did it shows here, we were talking about this, the number went up and down, but it's 4% of COVID came from restaurants. And we were talking about how they were calling it out even more because you're not going to say you're at Aunt Susie's.
Right.
You're going to say you're at Duffy's. But it was only 4%. Nationally, it's only 2%. So
and it's see, and that's the thing. It's so, I mean, I get it. And I actually had a conversation. I had a chat with Fred about this offline where it's more about the percentage of risk and the risk attached to the behavior and that kind of stuff. Because if you're in everybody's like, oh, well, you know, Best Buy's open and Meijer's open and that kind of stuff. Okay. Yeah. But you're not sitting at a table with X number of people in a closed room with Y number of people total that are all with their masks off. Because if you're seated, you don't have to have your mask on.
If you're seated, though, then the Rona doesn't spread.
But so that's the thing. So then
when you stand, you have to put the mask on. But
that R rate that he always talks about on our show keeps climbing and climbing and climbing because you have an increasingly exponential number of people that are sitting there without their masks on. And it's like, you know, that's why, like, you know, people that were getting angry about the 10 o'clock thing. Dude, nobody's going out to eat at 10 o'clock. They're going out to drink at 10 o'clock. And when you're drinking, that's when you get dumb. That's when.
Can I be honest?
Go for it.
I like the 10 o'clock thing.
I have no problem with it.
I get in no trouble now. We go out for like happy hour.
And yeah, you can shut the bar down and still be home to watch Letterman. Life's good.
You know, exactly Letterman. Here's the crazy part. The lights go on at like 9:45. And then the regulars are screaming at the bartender about turning the lights back. And it's like,
I'm like,
sorry. They don't realize the bar is closing at 10.
That's the new 1:45.
Yeah. They're like, why is the lights on? And we're like, the bar closes at 10. And they're like, the bartender's like, what, you know, come on, why are you yelling at me? But it's like, people didn't grasp that.
Yep.
I don't know if they didn't want to.
It's the new closing time. It absolutely is. And so, I mean, I am, because I get it. Like, having had a bajillion conversations with folks that work in bars, own bars, restaurants, that kind of stuff. There is, I would say you would be hard pressed to find any other industry that has been hit as hard as the bar and restaurant and banquet facility industry.
And let's be honest, those people aren't rich, man. We talk about this all the time.
Dude, the margins and all that shit they run on. Yep.
Yeah, like if people think 7-Eleven owners are rich, no.
Well, no, dude. And we've talked about dude, restaurants. I think it was like what 6-8 months ago we talked about the price. The fact that the price of like beef and that kind of stuff all through the supply lines were going up 10, 20, 30%. And these restaurant owners were trying to not pass along those price increases because they knew how desperate things were, and they didn't want to turn people off. But like they don't have any option now.
So now I guess the thing is, I was talking to a couple people, and the only people that are doing really well are the ones that completely owned Uber Eats, DoorDash, Grubhub, created ghost kitchens, so they have like 6 to 8 places running out of their place, and like created a machine of takeout.
Yep,
they're doing okay.
Yeah, they're not doing great, but they're doing okay. Yeah.
Right. Some of them, I heard there's a restaurant chain in Chicago that's actually up 300% because they run like 8 ghost kitchens out of their place.
Wow.
And they're not selling beer by the tap, but they're selling, chicken wings and chicken sandwiches.
Under 400 names. Yeah.
Under 4 different names. Right. Whatever works, I guess. But again, like you look at some like Lely's, like I'm not getting takeout from Lely's, a nice steak, and take it home, and then it's cold, and then what are you going to get from takeout? You get pizza and chicken wings and burgers, and you don't even get burgers because they get cold.
No,
you know what I mean?
Like nasty. Yeah.
Right. It's such a hard, thing. So I don't know. I wish the restaurants well, not necessarily. I hate anyone getting sued or lawsuits, but just I hope they get taken care of, or I guess something, because again, we don't want to see 73 vacant bars in Metro Detroit. It looks like shit, for one. For two, these are people's livelihoods.
Dude, that's the sad thing. I know so Lauren that does Trash Pandas. Her boyfriend had literally spent, I don't even want to put her down on there because I don't think she has, a lot of money doing a build out on that new gaming bar. I can't remember the name of it. I feel bad.
Yeah, the old Snookers on Kelly.
Yep. And so did the whole build out there like literally right before this hit, and he's been just dying on the vine this entire time, and now that they can finally start to have people in and that kind of stuff again, it's at least getting a little bit better. But damn, like that's I'm getting so tired of a whole bunch of stuff. I'm so done with politics, and the media is making me laugh. And the media started to go downhill, I think, when they called this backed up sewer water poop water. Like this was back like 6 years ago. No, I've made this point before. The media started going downhill when CNN launched. Because Anchorman too. I get it.
Because
once you have a 24/7 news cycle, you have to have shit that fills 24 hours a day.
So here's a story on Fox 2 Detroit. And I have no idea why this is on Fox 2 Detroit, and I'm reading it for one specific purpose. So false COVID information convinces a mom and 4 kids to drink urine for 4 days. At least they didn't use a clickbait title. And then you get in there, and then the third paragraph says, and I quote, "Urine is a waste product of the body. Its consumption is generally frowned upon in westernized medicine, according to a 2015 study conducted by the Journal of Clinical and Aesthetic Dermatology." So not only did they have to explain what pee was, there was a study that said drinking it was bad. And it's a British story, so why are they writing about it? Like, what algorithm does it fall through where this thing is going to generate clicks? Is it because I'm talking about it and it worked? Did it work?
It absolutely did, Bob. That's the thing.
Because it said pee and I had to read it?
Yeah, of course you did.
Right.
So I got to ask, and this wasn't even on our list, but I got to shout out our buddy Dave Williams. I love the guy. Posted an image earlier of Lionel Richie, who's apparently 70, with his new girlfriend, who is 30. And Lionel Richie looks like the Madame Tussauds version of Lionel Richie at this point. And so, yeah, I mean, shout out to him. My assumption is all that's playing in the background is hello. Is it my bank account you're looking for?
You are so proud of yourself because you got like 5 people to like it. So you're like,
you know what? And I was just, because I was making sure I didn't miss anything. So I got that. Yeah.
Hey, if if it, never mind. I'm going to go through society norms and like, I can't like, it's like me dating Betty White. Is that what it's kind of like? Like, or no, she's 99. No, it's not that much.
This is her last year of Legos. Yeah.
Who's 70? Like, I'm trying to think of like supermodels. Sophia Loren. It's like me dating Sophia Loren.
I mean, it's like 40 years. So yeah, I mean, it'd be you. No, yeah, be you. Dude.
Oh, it is me. 40 years.
Like, I don't know who you think you're kidding, but yeah. I love, honestly, I feel like we should talk a little bit of tech. I loved the story about the official Twitch stream getting shut down because Metallica was playing live, and their bots caught it and shut it down.
Shut their own because of them.
The irony of that is amazing, because for you kids at home that don't understand the history, Metallica was the band that was like out in the forefront against Napster and music sharing, and is one of the main reasons why this whole DMCA thing against music even exists. And so for that to get shut down, I laughed for a good 2-3 minutes over that. I'm not going to lie.
Isn't that irony?
That's why I said Alanis Morissette says what?
Yeah. And you know what? I used to not love, but I really liked Metallica. They were a rung down from Van Halen, for me at least, and Motley Crue, but I liked them and I respected them for what they did for heavy metal. I hated them after,
because of what they did with Napster and everything else. Yeah.
It's like they're not even that old. They should kind of understand it. But, I always say the thing like, dude, I went to your concert. I paid $40 for your T-shirt. I had your cassette. I had your record. I bought your CD. I lost your cassette and I had to rebuy it.
And you weren't making money off of your CD, album, or cassette anyway. You were making money off me at your shows.
Right. So if I want to download one, kiss my ass, I already gave you enough money as a human being. It's not like nobody ever downloaded full albums. They picked and chose. I remember Kid Rock bitched about that.
That was one of the best parts of it, is you didn't have to get the entire effing album.
You get the single.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, wow. Way to age us, Bob.
I used to buy, there was a point in my life, Duran Duran, I think, was one of the few, like, where I bought 4 records of the 45s instead of the full record because it was $1 cheaper. And I got all the songs I liked.
Exactly. It's a thing. So I'm curious again on the business front. I want to double back on that for a sec. Apparently the Paycheck Protection Program is going through changes as of Wednesday, where it is geared specifically towards companies with companies with less than 20 employees, trying to help them get through the process for at least 2 weeks before money gets grabbed by bigger companies. So if you're out there, it's a good time to take a look at it.
Is there a lot? Hopefully there's a lot of money.
Oh, there's still quite a bit of money out there.
Can restaurants apply for that? Or is
absolutely
okay? Yeah, go do.
Dude, that was the big stink. The first round of the PPP thing was that you saw a lot of chains like Outback and those kind of places that were getting in on it, and Chick-fil-A and who was the other one? The one downtown, Steak Shack. That caught a lot of shit for diving in on that.
Oh yeah, really mega corporation.
They didn't really need to. So yeah, that was a whole big thing. So it's good to see they're trying to focus it where it can do the most good and the most help.
You remember when I was trying to get that Xbox Series X and I kept bitching about Walmart's shopping cart, and I had it in the cart and then I couldn't get it,
and then it was gone, and then
it was gone. Yeah. So I figured a couple of months down the road I'll buy one. Whatever, they'll be back in stock. Nothing's popped back in stock. I never really questioned it.
Oh, really? Actually, because Mikey from Shillelagh just finally got one last week.
Okay. I mean, I'm not going to overpay for it on StockX. Sorry, StockX.
No, he got it through a store. Yeah.
No, there's one that I saw a PS5. I want an Xbox.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a reason why. Apparently everybody's been buying so much electronics during the shutdown.
There's a chip shortage.
Worldwide chip shortage, and I'm not talking about Funyuns or Better Made.
Which I'm not going to lie. When you sent the link across, it's you. I assumed it was bitching about potato chips, and then I clicked the link.
I'd be causing stink if there was potato chips. But it's there's literally a chip shortage. It's slow. It's like it's slowing down cars even because.
Well, dude, people have bought so much electronics over the course of the past year, from gaming systems to laptops to work from home to iPads and that kind of stuff for their kids to be at home. This doesn't surprise me.
Getting a laptop through distribution right now is like pulling teeth.
I don't doubt it.
Like 1 second it's in stock. Like the problem is once you standardize on a laptop as a company, and then all of a sudden you're like, okay, give me 3 more. We're like, yeah, you're good luck waiting until June.
Yeah, sorry.
And then now we got to go get Lenovo's, which is whatever is fine.
Yeah,
but like they're not standardized anymore. But
yeah,
I guess it doesn't. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
What's in stock at Best Buy?
We had to do that twice.
Micro Center, yeah.
Getting Surface Pros because we couldn't get any through Disty.
Right.
So yeah, good times.
Man, nothing else really jumping out at me. You?
I think that's it. I'm gonna I'm gonna spend some time on AmazonDating.co.
I'm totally gonna dig into that and laugh more.
We had a guest like 6 years ago. This is kind of a cool story.
Veronica, yeah.
That made I'm so happy to see that she's still doing her thing. That basically converted coats into sleeping bags. It was basically
she started
people.
Yep, it's called the Empowerment Plan, and the entire thing was giving coats to the homeless that would convert to sleeping bags that would keep them warm and safe and all that kind of stuff. And now GM has finally stepped in and is throwing money at it to help make this a better process and get more out there. So yeah, very, very cool to hear that that's still a thing.
And then on a personal note, next week I'll be in my I told you afterwards last week, I'll be in my first recliner I've ever owned as a man.
Oh, it's showing up. Okay.
Yeah. I obviously lived in my parents, then I had a bachelor pad, then I had this house. It's pretty much the 3 places I've lived in my life. I had 2 couches at my condo, and I've had a chair and an ottoman at this house. So yeah, I'm finally I got the cover, the cup holders.
Let me know if you want one of these to get the mic spread over you. That'll be you.
Oh, I could clamp it on. Yeah, that would.
You want one? I'll drop one. I got that painting for you. I'll drop off the painting in one of those for you.
The arm thing, you can clip it in there because you can put. Yeah,
I got you. I'll drop by this week.
Yay! So, all right, well, cool. Hey, we're gonna I guess wrap things up for episode 388 of the IT and the D Show. On behalf of Bob, Dave, and Get Well Randy, do us all a favor: drink up your drinks, get your phone numbers. You don't gotta go home. You just gotta get the hell out of here. See you next week. Drive careful. Beat it.
See you guys.